You've all probably heard of the word Hindu. Unfortunately today this word is, when you usually say the word Hindu, you think of the Hindu religion. But initially, what does the word Hindu refer to? The oldest civilization in the world is known as the Indus civilization. And in the East, this is something we need to understand, that in the East there has never been any single conformed or organized religion. All that existed was various different kinds of spiritual processes for different kinds of people. So this means every individual can have his own kind of yoga. Essentially, any method that leads towards self-knowledge can be referred to as a method of yoga. So suppose, for example, he is more of an intellect, much more of an intellectual kind of person. So if you use your intellect or your intelligence as an effort to come to self-knowledge, then this is known as Jnana Yoga. Somebody else in this room perhaps is more of an emotional kind of being. So if you use your emotion or your devotion as an instrument and a tool to realize what is your true nature, then this is known as Bhakti Yoga. Or, like many of the methods we're doing here, we're practicing very much sitting meditation. So if you're using meditation as a means to know yourself, then this is known as Raja Yoga. So like this, in the East, there was never a single conformed religion. There was only various different kinds of spiritual processes for different kinds of people. Now what does the word Hindu mean? Actually, the word Hindu does not refer to any organized religion. The people who lived along the banks of the Indus River, when conquerors came into India, those people were referred to as Indus. And then when the Persians came, the word Hindu became Sindhu, and later on a corruption of the word Sindhu, it became known as the word Hindu. So the word Hindu initially never referred to any organized religion. Now what is so unique about the Indus civilization is that not only did they have such tremendous outer wealth in the world, but there was also a very rich culture of spiritual processes. And part of the reason why the cultures of the spiritual processes became so enriched and so lively and vital was because they were well established outwardly. Their material well-being was very well settled, because the Indus civilization had a very good trading system with Mesopotamia. So it seems to be that for some reason people became less interested in outer objects, in material forms in the world, and they became more interested in the observer, the seer. Who is the one who's seeing through the eyes, hearing through the ears, smelling through the nose, tasting through the tongue? So the whole emphasis, for some reason, there began to come a shift. And to me that's not a coincidence, because you'll find that the more and more material wealth that you are privileged to have, you'll find naturally something within you wants to expand beyond these limitations. It reminds me of Gautama Buddha. Gautama Buddha lived as not a king, he was the prince of a very well-known tribe, the Sakya tribe. And this inner void started arising with him, and he had everything that any human being could have ever desired. All the wealth was available to him, women, beautiful clothes, wine, all the riches of the kingdom. And yet, in spite of all this, still remained this inner vacuum, this inner void, that somehow material well-being is not enough. It reminds me of one of the statements, maybe one of you has heard it. Man cannot live by bread alone. That's one of the statements of Jesus. He's saying exactly the same thing, pointing exactly to the same reality, that the human being, to live according to material well-being, will give us a certain amount of security and protection in the world. But this can never be sufficient to truly come to a fulfillment. For that, something else is needed. Now in yoga, we have always said that just this very human system that you are carrying within you, you are already carrying the wealth of the whole universe within you. Coming down to the very subatomic structure of the universe itself, that also exists within you.